Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Numbers 10 to 15, Proverbs 25, and Psalm 92. Let's get started. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Make 2 silver trumpets. Of hammond work you shall make them, and you shall use them for summoning the congregation and for breaking camp. And when both are blown, all the congregation shall gather themselves to you at the entrance of the tent of meeting. But if they blow only one, then the chiefs, the heads of the tribes of Israel, shall gather themselves to you. When you blow an alarm, the camps that are on the east side shall set up, and when you blow an alarm the second time, the camps that are on the south side shall set up. An alarm is to be blown whenever they are set up. When the assembly is to be gathered together, you shall blow a long blast, but you shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron the priest, you shall blow the trumpets. The trumpets shall be to you for a perpetual statute throughout your generations. And when you go to war in your land against the adversary who oppresses you, then you shall sound an alarm with the trumpets, that you may be remembered before the Lord your God. And shall we say from your enemies, on the day of your gladness and your appointed feast, and at the beginnings of the months, shall blow the trumpets over the burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings. It shall be a reminder of you before your God. I am the Lord your God. In the second year, in the second month, on the 20th day of the month, the cloud lifted from over the tabernacle of the testimony. And the people of Israel set out by stages from the wilderness to Selah. And the cloud settled down in the wilderness of Pharaoh. They set out for the first time at the command of the Lord by Moses. The standard of the camp of the people of Judah set out first by their companies. And over their company was Nashon the son of Amminadab. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Issachar was Nethanel the son of Zuar. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Zebulun was Eliad the son of Helon. And when the tabernacle was taken down, the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari, who carried the tabernacle, was set out. And the standard of the camp of Reuben set out by their companies. And over their company was Eleazar the Shemashador. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Simeon was Shelemiah the son of Zurishaddai. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Gad was Eliasaph the son of Deuel. And the Kohathites set out, and carrying the holy things. And the tabernacle was set up before their arrival. And the standard of the camp of the people of Ephraim set out by their companies. And over their company was Elishama the son of Ammihud. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Manasseh was Gamaliel the son of Pedazur. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Benjamin was Abidan the son of Gideon. And the standard of the camp of the people of Dan, acting as the rear guard of all their camps, set out by their companies. And over their company was Ahiezer the son of Amishai. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Asher was Pagiel the son of Ochran. And over the company of the tribe of the people of Naphtali was Ahira the son of Enan. This was the order of march of the people of Israel by their companies when they set out. And Moses said to Hobab the son of Ruel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place of which the Lord said, I'll give it to you. Come with us, and we will do good to you, for the Lord has promised good to Israel. But he said to him, I will not go. I will depart to my own land and to my kindred. And he said, Please do not leave us, for you know where we should camp in the wilderness, and you will serve as eyes for us. And if you do not go with us, whatever good the Lord will do to us, the same we will do to you. So they set out from the mount of the Lord 3 days' journey. And the ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them 3 days' journey, to seek out a resting place for them. And the cloud of the Lord was over them by day, whenever they set out from the camp. And whenever the ark set out, Moses said to them, Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee before you. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Lord, to the 10,000 of Israel. And the people complained in the hearing of the Lord about their misfortune. And when the Lord heard it, his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burned among them and consumed some outlying parts of the camp. And then the people cried out to Moses. And Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So the name of that place was called Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burned among them. And now the rabble that was among them had a strong craving. And the people of Israel also wept against it. Oh, that we had meat to eat, and we remember the fish we ate in Egypt that cost nothing. The cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our strength is dried up, and there is nothing at all but this manna to look at. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance was like that of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, and ground it, and had meal, or beat it, and mortared it, and boiled it in pots, and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was like the taste of cakes baked with oil. And the dew fell upon the camp in the night, and the manna fell with it. And Moses heard the people weeping throughout their clans, everyone at the door of his tent. And the anger of the Lord blazed hotly, and Moses was displeased. Moses said to them, "Why have you dealt ill with your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight, that you laid the burden of all this people on me? Did I conceive all this people? Did I give them birth, that you should say to them, carry them in your bosom, as a nurse carries a nursing child, to the land that you swore to give them their fathers? Where am I to get meat to give to all this people? Will they weep before me and say, give us meat that we may eat? And I am not able to carry all this people alone. The burden is too heavy for me. If you treat me like this, kill me at once. If I find favor in your sight, now I may see my wretchedness." And the Lord said to Moses, "Gather for me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting, and let them take their stand there with you. And I will come down and talk with you there. And I will take some of the spirit that is on you and put it on them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you may not bear it yourself alone. And say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat. You have wept in the hearing of the Lord, saying, He will give us meat to eat. But it was better for us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall eat. And you shall not eat just 1 day, or 2 days, or 5 days, or 10 days, or 20 days, but a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes loathsome to you, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, Why did we come out of Egypt? But Moses said, The people among whom I am number 600,000 on foot, and you have said, I will give them meat, and that they may eat a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slaughtered for them, and be enough for them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, and be enough for them? And the Lord said to Moses, Is the Lord's hand shorter? Now you'll see whether my word will come true for you or not. So Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord. And he gathered 70 men of the elders of the people and placed them around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spake to him, and took some of the spirit that was on it, and put it on 70 elders. And as soon as the spirit rested on them, they prophesied, and they did not continue doing it. 2 men remained in the camp, one named Eldad, and the other named Medad, and the Spirit rested on them. They were among those righteous, they had not gone out to the tent. So they prophesied in their camp. And the young man ran and told Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the assistant of Moses from his youth, said, My Lord Moses, stop them. But Moses said to him, Are you jealous when I say, with that all the Lord's people, all our prophets, that the Lord would put a spirit on them? And Moses and the elders of Israel returned to the camp. And then a wind from the Lord sprang up, and it broke quail from the sea and let them fall beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side and a day's journey on the other side around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the ground. And the people rode all that day and all night and all the next day, and gathered the quail. Those who gathered that day and all night and all the next day, and again gathered the quail. Those who gathered leaves gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. And the meat was yet between their teeth. And before it was consumed, the anger of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord struck down the people with a very great plague. Therefore the name of that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people like the crazy. From Kibroth Hattaavah the people journeyed to Hazeroth, and they remained at Hazeroth. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. And they said, Has the Lord indeed spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us also? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, more than all the people who were on the face of the earth. And suddenly the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, and Miriam, "Come out, you three, to the tent of meeting." And the three of them came out. And the Lord came down in a pillar of fire and stood at the entrance of the tent, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forward. And he said, "Hear my word. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak with him in a dream. So not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak mouth to mouth, clearly, and not in riddles, and he beholds the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?" And the anger of the Lord was kindled against him, and he departed. When the cloud removed from over the tent, behold, Miriam was leprous, like snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said to Moses, "O my Lord, do not punish us because we have done foolishly and have sinned. Let her not be as one man. His flesh is half eaten away when he comes out of his mother's womb." And Moses cried to the Lord, "O God, please heal her, please." And the Lord said to Moses, "If her father has had but spit in her face, should she not be shamed 7 days?" So Miriam was shut outside the camp 7 days, and the people did not set out on the march until Miriam was brought in again. After that, the people set out from Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, "Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the people of Israel. From each tribe of their fathers you shall send a man, every one a chief among them." And Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the command of the Lord, all of the men who were heads of the people of Israel. And these were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammah the son of Zechar; from the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat the son of Hori; from the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh; and from the tribe of Isaac, Igel the son of Joseph; from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea the son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti the son of Raphael; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel the son of Sodi; from the tribe of Joseph, Gadi the son of Suzi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel the son of Gamaliel; from the tribe of Asher, Sethur the son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nahbi the son of Vophsi; from the tribe of Gad, Guel the son of Mashi. These were the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hoshea the son of Nun, Joshua. Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, "Go up into the Negev, and go up into the hill country, and see what the land is, and whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, and whether the land that they dwell in is good or bad, and whether the cities that they dwell in are camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are trees in it or not. Be of good courage, and bring some of the fruit of the land." Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin to Rehob, near Lebo Hamath. They went out into the Negev and came to Hema. Heman, Shishai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were there. And they came to the valley of Eshcol, and cut down from there a branch with a single cluster of grapes. And they carried it on a pole between two of them. And they also brought some pomegranates and figs. That place was called the valley of Eshcol, because of the cluster that the people of Israel cut down from there. And at the end of 40 days they returned from spying out the land. And they came to Moses and Aaron, and to all the congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back the word to them and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told them, "We came to the land to which you sent us. It flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. And all the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the Negev. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the hill country. And the Canaanites dwell by the sea, and along the Jordan." And Caleb cried to the people before Moses, and said, "Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Then the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, but they are stronger than we are." So they brought the people of Israel a bad report for the land that they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, so we seemed to them." And all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept that night. And all the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The whole congregation said to them, Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in the wilderness? Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become a prey. Would it not be better for us to go back to Egypt? And they said to one another, let us choose a leader and go back to Egypt. And Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the people of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes and said to all the congregation of the people of Israel, the land which we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us. A land that flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their protection is removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. Then all the congregation said to stone them with stones. And the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of the meeting to all the people of Israel. And the Lord said to Moses, how long will this people despise me? And how long will they not believe in me, in spite of all the signs that I have done among them? And I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them. And I'll make you a nation greater and mightier than they. But Moses said to the Lord, then the Egyptians will hear of it, that you brought up this people in your midst, might from among them. And they will tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Lord, are in the midst of this people. For you, O Lord, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. And if we kill those people as one man, then the nation who have heard your fame will say, it is because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land, and he swore to give them that he has killed them in the wilderness. And now, please let the power of the Lord be great as you have promised, saying, that the Lord is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and he will by no means clear the guilty, in visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, to the third and the fourth generation. Please pardon the iniquity of this people, according to the greatness of your steadfast love, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt until now. Then the Lord said, I have pardoned according to your word. But truly as I live, and as all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, none of the men who have seen my glory and my sign that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and yet have put me to the test these 10 times, and have not obeyed my voice, shall see the land that I swore to give to their fathers. And none of those who despise me shall see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit and has followed me fully, I will bring him to the land into which he went, and his descendants shall possess it. Now since the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwell in the valleys, turn tomorrow and set out for the wilderness by the way to the Red Sea. And the Lord spake to Moses and to Aaron, saying, how long shall this wicked congregation grumble against me? I have heard the grumblings of the people of Israel, which they grumble against me. Say to them, as I live, declares the Lord, what you have said in my hearing I will do to you. Your dead body shall fall in the wilderness, and of all your number, listed in the census from 20 years old and upward, who have grumbled against me. And not one shall come into the land where I swore that I would make you dwell, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, who you said would become a prey, I will bring in, and they shall know the land that you have rejected. And as for you, your dead body shall fall in the wilderness, and your children shall be shepherds in the wilderness 40 years, and shall suffer for your faithlessness, until the last of your dead bodies lies in the wilderness. According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, a year for each day, you shall bear your iniquity 40 years. And you shall know my displeasure. I, the Lord, have spoken. Surely this I will do to all this wicked congregation who are gathered together against me. In the wilderness they shall come to a full end, and there they shall die. And the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing up a bad report about the land, the men who brought up a bad report about the land, who died by plague before the Lord. Of those men who went to spy out the land, only Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh remained alive. And Moses told these words to all the people of Israel. And the people mourned greatly. And they rose early in the morning and went to the heights of the hill country, saying, here we are. We will go up to the place that the Lord has promised, for we have sinned. But Moses said, why now are you transgressing the command of the Lord? When that will not succeed. Do not go up, for the Lord is not among you, lest you be struck down before your enemies. For there the Amalekites and the Canaanites are facing you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned to go up to the heights of the hill country. Although neither the ark or the covenant of the Lord nor Moses departed out of the camp, then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in the hill country came down and defeated them and pursued them, even to Hormah. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land you are to inhabit, which I am giving you, and you offer to the Lord from the herd or from the flock a food offering or a burnt offering or a sacrifice, to fulfill a vow or as a food offering, or at your appointed feast, to make a pleasing aroma to the Lord, and then he who brings an offering shall offer to the Lord a grain offering, to a tenth of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with a quarter of a hin of oil. And you shall offer with the burnt offering, or for the sacrifice, and a quarter of a hin of wine for the drink offering for each lamb, or a ram. You shall offer for a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with a third of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering, you shall offer a third of a hin of wine, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And when you offer a bull as a burnt offering or sacrifice, to fulfill a vow, or for peace offerings to the Lord, then one shall offer with the bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with half a hin of oil. And you shall offer for the burnt drink offering half a hin of wine as a food offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Thus shall be done for each bull or ram, or for each lamb or young goat, as many as you offer. So shall you do with each one, as many as there are. Every native and Israelite shall do these things in this way, in offering a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if a stranger is sojourning with you, or anyone is living permanently among you, and he wishes to offer a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord, you shall do as you do for the assembly. There shall be one statute for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. You and the sojourner shall be alike before the Lord. One law and one rule shall be for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, Say to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, and when you eat of the bread of the land, you shall present a contribution to the Lord. And of the first of your day you shall present a loaf as a contribution, like a contribution from your threshing floor. So shall you present it. So on the first of your day you shall give to the Lord as a contribution throughout your generations. And if you sin unintentionally and do not observe all these commandments that the Lord spake to Moses, all that the Lord has commanded you by Moses, from the day that the Lord gave commandment, and onward throughout your generation. And if it was done unintentionally, without the knowledge of the congregation, all the congregation shall offer one bull from the head of the burnt for a burnt offering, and pleasing aroma to the Lord, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the rule, and one male goat for a sin offering. And then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the people of Israel, and they shall be forgiven, just because it was a mistake, and they have brought their offering, the food offering to the Lord, and the sin offering before the Lord for their mistake. And all the congregation of the people of Israel shall be forgiven, and the stranger who sojourns among them, because the whole population was involved in the mistake. If one person sins unintentionally, he shall offer a female goat a year old for a sin offering. And then the priest shall make atonement before the Lord for the person who makes a mistake, when he sins unintentionally, to make atonement for it, and he shall be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who does anything unintentionally, for him who is native among the people of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns among them. The person who does anything with a high hand, whether he is native or sojourner, reveals the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of the Lord and has broken his commandment. That person shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be on him. While the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses, to Aaron, and to all the congregation. And they put him in custody, because he had not been made clear. Now, what should be done to him? And the Lord said to Moses, The man shall be put to death, and all the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp, and stoned him to death with stones, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, Speak to the people of Israel, and tell them to make tassels on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a cord of blue on the tassel of each corner. And it shall be a tassel for you to look at and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes, which you are inclined to follow after, So you shall remember and do all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Proverbs 25. These are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah king of Judah copied. It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and the smith has material for a vessel. Take away the wicked from the presence of the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not put yourself forward in the king's presence, or stand in the place of the great. For it is better to be told, "Come up here," than to be put lower in the presence of a noble. What your eyes have seen, do not hastily bring into court. For what will you do in the end, when your neighbor puts you to shame? Open your case with your neighbor himself, and do not reveal your neighbor another secret. Lest he hears you bring shame upon you, and your ill rebuke have no end. The word fairly spoken is like apples of gold and set of silver. Like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise reproof to a listening ear. Like a cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds of wind without rain is a man who boasts of the gift he does not give. With patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue will break a bone. If you have found honey, eat only enough of it, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it, lest your food be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest you have his fill of you and hate you. A man who bears false witness against his neighbor is like a war club or a sword or a sharp arrow. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, and like bidding on the sword. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. Therefore you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue angry lips. It is better to live in the corner of the house top than in the house shared with a cross and wife. Like cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Like a muddy spring or a polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way to the wicked. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Psalm 92. It is good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning, and your faithfulness by night, to the music of the lute and the harp, to the melody of the lyre. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your word, and at the works of your hands I sing for joy. How great are your works, O Lord! Your thoughts are very deep. The stupid man cannot know. The fool cannot understand this. That though the wicked sprout like grass, and all evildoers flourish, they are doomed to destruction forever. That you, O Lord, are on high forever. For behold your enemies, O Lord. For behold your enemies shall perish. All evildoers shall be scattered. But you have exalted my horn like that of the wild ox. You have poured over me fresh oil. My eyes have seen the downfall of my enemies. My ears have heard the doom of my evil sayings. Their righteous flourish like a palm tree, and grow like cedar in the land. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They still bear fruit in the old age. They are ever full of sap and rain, to declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Now thus done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.